Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski. You can call me Grizzer, and this is a game day edition of the show, and where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and tidbits that are tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, even on game day. Thank you to everybody who is liked our previous episode, subscribe to the channel, and who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. And speaking of subscribers, we are like 100 away. We will change the fit when we get to 12,000. I can't do it till we get there. We got the 12 shirt ready to go. But man, we are so close. We're right there. We haven't gotten there yet. But as soon as we do, we'll change the fit for just one show. Phone the neighbors, wake the kids. We're that close to the 12 shirt. Let's go. Gotta get that going. Get that 12,000 threshold and give the orange quarter zip a rest. Now, coming up on today's show, a key to winning today won't be found in the playbook. One thing to watch out for during this game with the Bills has nothing to do with the offense or the defense. Our bold predictions include one about our makeshift offensive line, and in the viewer comments, why we won't see a shootout between Shedeur Sanders and Josh Allen. Wonder what that's all about. We will find out momentarily, but first of all, let's pull out our keys to beating the Bills. Here's the thing, folks. The number one key today, the Bills are going to be locked in. And so we're going to have to match their intensity. Now, why are they going to be locked in? Because they can clinch a playoff spot today. If they beat us, or there's a loss by Houston or Indianapolis, the Bills will clinch a playoff spot. And you know how this goes. You want to control your own destiny. So they are going to be locked in. So we cannot come out unprepared, undisciplined, and with the lack of enthusiasm like we did last week against the Bears. Because if that happens, this is going to be a steamroll. We have to match that. That is the biggest key of this game, is matching their intensity and being ready to play. And that's all. It all falls on the head coach. So we'll see. We'll see. But to me, that is the most critical key to winning this game. Also, we got to keep their tight ends from killing us. We've struggled with tight ends. We told you earlier in the week, over 700 yards we've given up to tight ends, 5 touchdowns, and they've got a couple of good ones. Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. They even throw to their blocking tight end every once in a while, too. So Josh Allen will find his tight ends, and he will feed them if you leave them open. The other thing I think is key is everybody talk about James Cook. I think you got to keep Josh Allen under wraps today, because you know how much he loves to run, and that could be a problem for us. We're having enough trouble trying to stop running backs the last couple of weeks. Now we got a running quarterback too. So you gotta come up with something to slow down that running game, especially Josh Allen. But then we also have to be able to run the ball ourselves. If we're running the ball and keeping Josh Allen off the field, it's only going to help us. Just keep it close and give yourself a chance to win at the end. And then when Shedeur drops back to pass, we can't have what's been going on. These teams aren't even blitzing us, and they're still getting to him. We got to give him some time. Got to give him some time to throw. Or can we have an offensive coordinator who just designs some plays where the ball gets out quickly? Some quick throws, some run after catches, some screens. Let's go. Quick screens, bubble screens. Isaiah Bond. I don't know if you guys know, you got a guy with like 4.3 speed you can use. For the love of Pete. But what I'm watching for today has nothing to do on the offensive side, the defensive side. It is all about the special teams, because as bad as Bubba Ventrone's unit has been all season long, today could be a complete bloodbath. Do you know how good the Bills are at special teams? They lead the league in kickoff returns for touchdowns. Ray Davis, their running back, is also he wants a bigger role on offense, but he has just settled into this kick returning spot for them, and he hasn't looked back. And their special teams coach actually knows what he's doing. His name is Chris Tabor. But their average starting field position is 32.4 yard line. That's their 32-yard line is their average starting field position. And like I mentioned, Davis has 5 runbacks for touchdowns, including one against the Texans a couple weeks ago. And, just doing some digging on this, the Bills look at special teams and kickoff returns. They like the new kickoff return rules because they look at it as another running play. That's how they look at it. And what Tabor does is he plans for kickoff returns like the NBA. He looks for matchups, like bigs on smalls. That's what he looks for. You know how, like in basketball, you run a play, and I used to always tell the kids this. When you run a play, we start motion. You got to create motion. Motion creates the mismatches because you're trying to get the defense to switch, right? So you get the little guy switch to a big guy. Now you get pounded inside. You get a big guy switch to the little guy. You can take that guy to the hole. Mismatches. That's what they're trying to do. So that's what they do. They liken it to basketball. This is a special teams coach that knows what he's doing. You see what happens when you got a special teams coach that knows what he's doing? This kind of stuff. You run kickoffs back and you have an average starting field position of the 32. But he looks for matchups like that, like you do in basketball. So, and they moved one of their offensive linemen onto the kick return. They put him in front of Davis because he's kind of like his lead blocker. He's like a fullback on the. So I am all over this today. I am watching this like a hawk every time we kick the ball to Buffalo. Hold on to your hat. Not that we don't already, but anytime special teams is out there for any reason. But holy moly, today could be, the only other thing I'm watching for is the offensive line too. I want to see, are these guys going to come out motivated and ready to move some people? Whippler did a nice job last week and we wouldn't run behind him. So this is why it's so hard not to think this is sabotage. I hate that. I mean, you look at what happened. You look at things that happened during the game, after the game. After the game, you look at the things that happened during the game, and you're going, why did we not go with that? Why do we keep running and trying to run outside the tackles when the tackles can't block anybody on any run? But we got Whippler eating people alive up the middle. I don't know. Don't get it. But that's our feelers leader, our head coach. So, but watch those special teams, man. Hold your breath every time we kick it off to them. Because oh boy. Bubba Ventrone. God, he's such a bad special teams coach. Bold predictions. This is an easy one. Myles Garrett's going to get the record today. He will. There's no stopping him. He's on a mission. It's gonna be curious. I'm curious to see what they do to try to stop him. They've been talking about it all week, so I'm sure they'll be chipping him, triple teaming him. But our other guys got to do the job along the rest of the line. If they're gonna spend all their time paying attention to him, to Myles, somebody's got to step up. So, but I think Myles will get there. I think Myles gets his sack today. I think Judkins gonna go over 100 yards. Their rush defense is terrible, and it could be on something like 15 to 20 carries. I don't think it's gonna be like one of those 4 or 5. I think he's gonna hit a couple of big ones. I think he'll break loose for a 40-yarder, or a 30-yarder, or something. A couple of those, and then, tack on the rest. So I think he'll have a couple of big runs. So look at what his over is on longest rush. I think I would play that today because I think he's going to hit one home run at least. Shedeur Sanders also going to go over his rushing total. We're going to need it today. He is going to have to pull it and run it sometimes because, they just don't defend the run very well. If I'm an offensive coordinator, we have an offensive genius in Stefanski, so I'm sure he thought of this during the week. I would have some design runs for Shedeur. Similar to what the Bills do with Josh Allen, but I would have some quarterback draws ready to go. And same thing like against the Bears last week. I said it should happen, but really didn't happen. Roll them out and give them the option to run because I think there will be some yards for him to get. So I am saying Shedeur over 25 yards rushing. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure I haven't checked his number yet, but I will. I think he's going over whatever his number is because they usually set him at like 10 or 11 or something. I think he's going over that. Now, for the game, I think this game's going to be way closer than the experts think. The Browns match up really well with Buffalo. Buffalo also could be flat off the win against the Patriots. They're chasing them for the division. They'll be a little more focused because they could clinch a playoff spot today. If they weren't able to clinch a playoff spot today, I'd say I'm all in on the Browns. But here's what I'm going to say. It's going to be closer. And I think the Browns are going to win this game 27-24. I will say this. Take the points. I would take the points in this game. But the Browns can't win this game. Their defense is not that good. And if Shedeur can get it going like he did against Tennessee, anything can happen. Remember, any given Sunday and any given day, the viewer comments are awesome, just like they are today. And we'll start with Neil Robinson, 8702, says the Bills are going to run all over the Browns this week. It's going to be Cook and Allen scoring all day. Well, the defense, third time's the charm, right? This is the third game without Malik Collins, and hopefully Jim Schwartz has dialed up something to stop the running game, because that is it's just been killing us these last couple of weeks since Malik Collins has gone out. And so they're going to be spending a lot of time worrying about Garrett. So we got to get this run defense shored up. But great take, Neil. Tony Grimaldi, 35-34. This won't be a shootout. No shootout with that O-line. You are dreaming. But a kid can dream, right? Tony, come on. Can I have that, please? The potential for a shootout is there. The way our defense is playing and the way their defense is playing, I mean, why not? I think the potential for a shootout is there. It's the NFL. That's kind of these things happen in these kind of games. I'm telling you. Plus, Buffalo never plays well in Cleveland. So I'm telling you, Tony, don't be surprised. Take the over. I think I'm going to take the over for sure. This is going to be a high-scoring game. True, honestly, 13-27. It can't be a shootout between Josh Allen and Shedeur because Shedeur doesn't have as many targets as Josh Allen. Well, the Bills' defense, I mean, you get the running game going, start hitting Judkins out of the backfield. Maybe we get Fanning going, but remember, we told you they're tough on tight ends. And they're number one. They're number one or two. We're one against the pass. The Bills are two, I think. So they do defend the pass very well. But stranger things have happened. Well, we got Jerry Jeudy. True? What are you talking about? True. I mean, come on. Jeudy. Oh, Jerry Jeudy. Julio Peter, 60-67. Give Shedeur some time, and he will have a good showing. Yeah, I totally agree. Just give him a little time, and let him find somebody, and we'll go from there. Like, anything is possible, man, but I think it starts with the running game. If you get the running game going, and then you can play action a little bit and do some things off of that, I just wish we could start developing that rapport with Shedeur and Isaiah Bond. And I think you do it with the quick hitches, the quick passes, whether it's a slant, bubble screens, things like that. Get the ball in his hands. And then you got to get that defense worrying about that. And now you start looking for Fanning. You start looking at some other options. But, Shedeur can get Bond going. I think we're going to be in a good spot. And we will end today on Kadena 1734, who says, you're delusional if you think Shedeur holds a candle to Josh Allen. Now, I'm not saying Shedeur's a rookie. How could you, who would in their right mind would say Shedeur and Josh Allen are like in the same, that's not even fair. Josh Allen's been in the league for how long? And he's done with that. Shedeur's just starting out. So I'm not, but is Shedeur an NFL quarterback? Absolutely. Is Dylan Gabriel? Absolutely not. So if you wanted, Dylan Gabriel couldn't hold a candle to pretty much anybody in the league. But Shedeur, give him some time. Could mention him in the same sentence with Josh Allen at some point once we get a real head football coach in here. All right, we'll be back here after the game with our thoughts on what happened. Oh boy, this kickoff thing I'm so intrigued by the kickoff thing. I really am, and I'm curious to see how the offensive line can get running, because everybody's been running on the Bills. Everybody's running on the Bills, so. It's our only hope, Obi-Wan. We got to be able to run the ball. So, all right, we'll see you after the game. Enjoy it. Oh, man. man, if we could just beat the Bills. Gosh, if we could beat the Bills today, upset their season, that would be sweet. All right, go Browns. We'll see you next time.